Howdy folks, Nathan here with the Fast Lane car, and that is a 2021 Infiniti Q50, a vehicle that has been around for a long time. There are a couple updates this year, and coming up, I'm going to give you the top 5, what I love and what I dislove. Or should I say hate? Nah, how about what I don't like? What you might be looking at here could be the future. I know, it's a little vague. We have an upcoming Z car, right? It's right around the corner, and rumor has it that this engine or a version of this VR 3-liter V6 will find its way into that Z car. Nothing's been exactly confirmed yet, but think about it. This puts out 300 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. This one is hooked up to a 7-speed automatic transmission, which has been around for a while, but I love this powertrain. This is, by the way, hooked up to an all-wheel drive system. So it could be rear drive. In this case, it's all-wheel drive. That's really good because this thing takes off like a bat out of hell. All in all, this powertrain is sweet. And it's not overpowered. I know that sounds ridiculous, but for what you get for the money, this thing puts out great performance, and it doesn't feel like it's breathing heavy when it's doing it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited to see what Nissan will do with this powertrain in the new Z, if indeed they use it. Yeah, this design has been around for a while, but it's a good-looking design. It's one of my favorite parts of this vehicle. I really do think they're attractive, especially from the profile. Now, new for this year, 2021, there are a couple little tiny things here and there that have been lifted and tucked. The grille is different, and you can get different little things on different levels of Infiniti, but the thing is, it basically looks the same. I don't mind so much because just look at this from the side, and this color is outstanding. What a beautiful blue. It's kind of like an Alfa Romeo that is a little bit more reliable. I know that sounds mean, but I'm quite serious about that. By the way, one thing I really do like, and this is one of the things that kind of looks like an Alfa Romeo, is the way they designed the rear. Once again, very subtle, but with these big ass pipes, I'm loving it. Another thing I love about this vehicle, its overall handling. Allow me to show you. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. So let's go around this corner here. I'm accelerating. Sticks like glue. Absolutely great handling. I love the way they managed to sort of mix in a good luxurious ride with just the right amount of grip and stiffness. It really works well. It's a great trade-off, and I love throwing this car around corners. I can't do too much because I don't want the cameraman to yak on me. Another thing about this vehicle that I really do like is the fact that it is affordable for a luxury performance sedan. I know it's not cheap. This one comes in, I'm holding it right here, $52,800. Now, that is for the Signature Edition all-wheel drive. That means that it is extremely well loaded. It has all-wheel drive, but it's not the very top monster version, that red one, which we're not talking about today. Still, for the money, you're getting a lot of car. And here's the great part. If you don't need all-wheel drive, and if you don't need all of these luxury goodies, you can get well into the lower 40s with one of these. This next one, I'm not trying to be cerebral, I'm not trying to be intellectual, because you know I'm not, but this car flies under the radar, and it's something that I actually kind of appreciate. It's not a boy racer, it's not overdone. I actually know people who have these who are fairly well-to-do, but really don't want to show it, but they want a comfortable, fast, daily driver, and that's exactly what this is. I'm actually really impressed with it, but I want to shift to something else because there are a few things about this vehicle I don't like. All right, guys, let me introduce you to what I like to call the backpack of the car, because it's certainly not much of a trunk. Between 13.2 and 13.5 cubic feet of cargo space is not a lot in this class. It's just not, okay? I can't put a body in there. Now, I did talk about the fact that I like the looks and the fact that it's under the radar, but unfortunately there's a reality, and that is they've had this car around for an awful long time without any major changes, and that is a real issue for the buying public. Bottom line is that they don't sell a lot of these, and one of the reasons why, because it looks an awful lot like, last year's and the years before and the year before and the year before and the year before. This vehicle is old, and it's time for a change. Rumor has it, they're gonna have one real soon. Front seat's not bad, but there is something I wanted to point out to you guys. This interior design, we're just talking about the design, mind you, is a bit dated. If you check out the gauges in the center display, that alone is enough to say, everybody else is doing full digital. I don't mind this per se, but I am saying that the overall design of the interior, all of this, although I think it looks decent, is very dated, and that is an issue. And that leads to my next issue. Something that they are working on, but they haven't done yet, and that's this, the infotainment setup. This dual screen layout is ancient. Not only that, but it's not very user-friendly. Let me point out what we got going on up here with the navigation. In order to use this properly, you have to use this knob here, right? Look at the graphics on that. I have an Apple IIc buried somewhere in my garage from high school that actually has comparable graphics. This whole layout down here, while useful, I mean, this is great, right? Well, not so great, because you're not really able to do much with touching the screen or anything. It doesn't really want to do much with you, right? That's an issue. And then down here, aside from the fact that Infiniti probably doesn't want me playing Rage Against the Machine, the bottom line here is this is a tiny screen. My iPhone, in all honesty, okay, is almost the same size screen. That's just not enough. So nowadays people have a one-piece, much larger screen, much more user-friendly, easier to use altogether, and better graphics. And those are the three issues with this whole system. At the same time, despite the great handling, one of my biggest issues is steering feel. Man, I don't understand where Nissan and Infiniti are going with their steering. I sincerely hope the Z doesn't suffer from this, because it's a real lack of feel. Now, I'm not talking about the super high-tech steering systems that are available. I'm talking about even the regular system like this one. It's really detached, and when I'm going around a corner, I don't really feel the heft that I'm hoping to feel. There's not a, how do I put it? There's not enough BMW in this car. I'm sorry, but there it is. BMW still has a really good sense of heft and feel with their steering. But in this case, this car is so competitive in so many ways that the lack of feel, it makes me sad. It takes my smile and makes it into a frown. There it is. So what does it all boil down to? It boils down to this for me. I still think the Q50 is an excellent car. Very athletic, a lot of fun to drive, and very comfortable up front. However, there are competitors out there now, especially from Genesis, who build really good cars for less money that in many cases beat this vehicle. Would I buy one? Not unless I had a manual transmission, but I still really love the way this vehicle handles. I hope you enjoyed this video. For the Fast Lane Car, this is Nathan. I'll see you next time.